Elena packed the ring in her carry-on because she did not trust it to the hold. She is a U.S. citizen, an emergency room nurse from Phoenix, and she is flying home from Lisbon with a promise instead of a plan. His name is Tomás, a marine biologist she met at a conference 2 years ago and has been loving across an ocean ever since. They are not married. They want to be in Phoenix with her mother in the front row. And between that wish and that wedding sits a visa built around a single, unforgiving number: 90 days. If you are watching this, some version of that ring is probably in your life too. Maybe your partner is an ocean away, and you are trying to work out the right way to bring them home. Maybe you have already started, and the 90-day clock is a shape in the back of your mind. Either way, this is for you. You are watching the expert guide from the law offices of Chris M. Ingram. Every week, we take one part of the United States immigration system and make it clear enough to act on. No jargon left unexplained, no fear left unaddressed. Last week, we walked through the marriage green card for couples already married. This week is the step before that. For couples who are not married yet, the Fiancé visa, the 90-day promise. And here is the promise of the episode. By the end, you will understand exactly how the Fiancé visa works, the one deadline you can never miss, and the tempting shortcut that can follow a couple through every application they ever file. A quick note before we go on. This is general educational information, not legal advice for your specific situation. We've put the questions and timestamps on screen so you can jump to what matters most.
Just a quick reminder, if you appreciate this kind of in-depth content, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It helps us bring you more content. Now, on with the video.
Here is the thing to understand first, because it shapes everything. The Fiancé visa is not a green card. It is a single-purpose ticket, and the purpose is written into it. Enter the United States and marry the citizen who petitioned for you within 90 days. That is the whole design. A US citizen, and it must be a citizen, not a green card holder, petitions for their fiancé abroad. The case is approved, sent to the fiancé's country, and after an interview at the embassy, the fiancé receives the visa and travels to the United States. Once here, the couple has 90 days to marry. After the wedding, the new spouse applies to adjust status to a green card from inside the country, so the fiancé visa is really a bridge. It carries a couple from engaged and apart to married and together and adjusting, legally and in the open. There are a few gates to pass first. The petitioner has to be a US citizen. Both people must be legally free to marry, so any earlier marriages must be fully and legally ended. And here is the one that surprises people. The couple must have met in person at least once within the 2 years before filing. Not video calls, not years of messages, an actual in-person meeting documented. There are narrow exceptions for genuine cultural or hardship reasons, but they are narrow, and claiming one without real grounds is a fast way to a denial. As attorney Chris M. Ingram frames it for the couples the firm works with, the Fiancé visa is one of the most emotional petitions we handle because it is built entirely around a promise, the promise to marry within 90 days. Once a couple understands that everything in the process flows from that single commitment, the whole thing becomes clear and far less frightening.
Feeling lost in a maze of visa types and paperwork? Don't know where to turn? We've got your back. With clear answers and real help, we'll guide you every step of the way. Let's navigate it together. Your journey starts today.
Hello, you must be Clara. Welcome to the law office of Chris M. Ingram.
Finally, I found a law firm that will help me achieve my American dream.
At this law firm, you are important to us. That's why we will be with you every step of the way. So join us at the office of Chris M. Ingram.
Now the number the whole visa is named for. The 90 days begins the day the fiancé enters the United States, not the day they settle in, the day they land. Hear this clearly, because there is no softening it. If the couple does not legally marry within those 90 days, the visa expires. There is no extension. There is no grace period. There is no other status to slide into. The fiancé must leave, and the whole process starts again from the beginning. The 90-day clock is the least forgiving deadline in this corner of immigration law, and couples who treat the wedding date as flexible are the ones who get hurt. So plan the wedding before the visa is even in hand, and do not book a non-refundable venue against a visa that has not arrived. Marry with room to spare inside the window, and then, the moment you are married, the next stage begins, adjusting status to a green card, exactly as we covered last week for married couples. But there is a second rule after the wedding that undoes more fiancé visa cases than almost anything else, and it has nothing to do with the 90 days. Once the couple marries and files to adjust status, the new spouse must not leave the country while that application is pending, not without travel permission approved and in hand. Leaving without it can be treated as abandoning the whole application. A honeymoon abroad booked in the glow of the wedding before that document arrives is one of the most painful and most avoidable mistakes there is.
Let's answer the questions that are actually keeping you up, in the order you actually ask them. First, we met online and have been together 2 years, but we have never met in person. Can we still file? Honestly, not yet. The in-person meeting within the 2 years before filing is a real requirement, and the exceptions are narrow, reserved for situations where meeting would violate long-established cultural custom or cause genuine extreme hardship. Finding travel inconvenient or expensive does not qualify. The answer is not no forever. It is plan that meeting, document it thoroughly, and then file. A real deep relationship is worth doing this step properly. Second, I am a green card holder, not a citizen. Can I petition for my fiancé? Not on the fiancé visa. It is for US citizens only. If you are a permanent resident, the path is different. Marry first, abroad, or wherever is lawful, and then petition for your spouse, which places the case in a category that can carry a weight. Or, if you are close to eligibility, become a citizen first, which opens the fiancé visa and speeds the whole picture. That timing decision is worth making early. Third, how long does the fiancé visa take? The full journey from filing to the fiancé arriving has run a broad range in recent years, and it varies by embassy and by current volumes. The practical takeaway is simple. Start early and do not commit to a wedding date, a venue, or travel until the visa is actually issued and your fiancé has entered. Fourth, we got married in time, but now I need to travel for work before my green card papers are done. What do I do? Stop before you book anything. Leaving the country while the adjustment application is pending, without travel permission in hand, can be treated as abandoning it. If travel feels unavoidable, that is a conversation to have with a qualified attorney before you go to the airport, never after. There may be options, but only if you ask first. Fifth, why not just use a tourist visa and marry once they are here? Because it is the most consequential mistake in this whole area, and it is the subject of the next thing we need to talk about.
Here is what many couples talk themselves into, and why it is a trap rather than a shortcut. The tourist visa looks faster. Come visit, get married, adjust status, skip the whole fiancé visa wait. Do not do it. A tourist visa is for visiting. Entering the United States on it while already intending to marry and remain can be treated as misrepresentation, and misrepresentation is not a one-time problem. It is a shadow that can follow a person through every future application they ever file for the rest of their life. The fiancé visa exists precisely because the government recognizes that couples need a real, transparent, legal way to do exactly this. It takes longer. It also arrives clean, with nothing hidden and nothing to haunt you later. There is a related path worth knowing. If a couple is already married, the fiancé visa is simply not the right tool, and the direct spousal route, adjustment from inside the country, or an immigrant visa abroad, is the correct door instead. As attorney Chris M. Ingram often puts it, the fiancé visa is not the fast lane, and it is not the slow lane, it is the honest lane. The couples who take it spend a few extra months up front and save themselves a lifetime of a problem that never fully goes away.
So picture Elena again, the ring zipped into her carry-on somewhere over the Atlantic, flying home to start the paperwork properly. Here is what changes when she understands what she is holding. The visa is no longer a mystery with a scary number attached. It is a bridge with a clear shape, a citizen petitioner, a documented in-person meeting, an embassy interview, a 90-day window to marry with a room to spare, and then adjustment of status from inside the country. She knows the 90 days starts the day Tomás lands, not the day they relax into it. She knows not to book the honeymoon abroad until his travel papers are approved. And she knows, above all, not to reach for the tourist visa shortcut that would have felt easier and cost them for years. The ring is still in the carry-on, but it is not a gamble anymore. It is just the front end of a plan that has a shape she can see all the way to the wedding. If you are somewhere on this same road, the most valuable thing you can do is get your own situation assessed by people who guide couples through the Fiancé visa every day, and who know exactly where good couples trip. The law offices of Chris M. Ingram has walked binational couples through this process for more than 2 decades. Visit breakthroughusa.com to find out where you actually stand.
Before you go, one question, and keep it general in the comments. No personal details. Which surprised you more? That the 90-day clock has no extension of any kind? Or that the tourist visa shortcut can follow a person forever? We read them, and we build episodes around the answers. Here is where we are headed next week. Elena and Tomás will marry inside the window, and the day after the wedding, a new process begins. The one that turns a fiancé who married into a permanent resident. Next time on the Expert Guide, we follow that adjustment of status all the way through. The work permit, the travel document, the interview, and the timing that keeps it all safe. Because saying the vow is the beginning of the paperwork, not the end of it. You have got this. We will see you next week. This has been general educational information, not legal advice. For guidance on your own situation, speak with a qualified immigration attorney.